Hello Polkadot, my name's Chris Wilson, and in this tutorial we'll be implementing multi-sig accounts on Polkadot. Bring your friends along for the ride. And we're going to start by going to DataHub, signing in to our datahub.figment.io, and clicking on our Polkadot protocol, because we will need our API key for this one. Introduction. In this tutorial, we will cover the process of creating a multisig, an account which shares authority for transactions across multiple addresses. The word multisig stands for multiple signature. For the purposes of this tutorial, we will generate 2 additional accounts and ensure they are both funded with enough West End to cover the existential deposit and to send a few transactions. These will be used to simulate the other signing parties of the multisig wallet. We will be building a new command line application in JavaScript to handle the operations of creating and using this multisig account on West End. Though the same concepts and most of the code still applies to Polkadot or other substrate-based blockchains. There are many potential applications of this concept. However, for this tutorial, we are mainly concerned with the added layer of account security. This functionality is at the core of many DAOs and similar governance structures. A multisig account is itself a form of on-chain governance, and a multisig generally requires active participation. Check out the Polkadot API documentation for a summary of all the relevant API metadata. So in this tutorial, we'll create a multisig, we'll fund the multisig, we'll initiate a multisig transaction, and approve a multisig transaction. Setup. It is not a requirement. However, completing the Polkadot pathway and the social recovery tutorial form a strong basis of understanding which will enhance this tutorial. The simplest way to satisfy these requirements and maintain flexibility as a Windows 10 user is to install WSL2 and VS Code. The terminal window inside of VS Code can utilize any shell, from Bash to PowerShell. Linux and Mac OS users will have no need of WSL2 and can use any terminal app and text editor of their choosing. We will also need a Node.js installed, preferably with a tool for version management. NVM or FNM are popular choices. You'll also need a package manager like NPM or Yarn. Installation will vary by operating system. This tutorial has the following 2 dependencies which must be installed via the package manager: .env and @polkadot/API. Initialize the project directory. We can start by opening up Ubuntu, and we can type in mk for make and dir for directory, and then Polkadot _ multisig. You can name it whatever you like. And then from here, how I like to get into the folder is to type code and then the file name, and that will open it inside of VS Code for me. And there we are. We are inside. All right. And then what we're going to want to run is npm init-y. And this is going to create, there's our contents for the package.json file. And there's the file inside of our directory, so we can easily manage our code. The next thing we're going to want to run is to install the Polkadot/API. And there we go, that's installing. We should see a package lock JSON file and a node modules. Perfect. Once the installation process is completed, we can create an environment file in the project directory. For convenience, we'll copy and paste the template below, and we can read more about .env in our handy quick reference guide found right here. Also, remember to replace API key at the end here with your DataHub API key from the Polkadot service dashboard. So we're going to go ahead and copy that. And the way I like to do this is I like to first create a git-ignore file. And that way I can put .env in here, hit it with a save. And now if this is ever committed, then git-ignore will tell Git to ignore my environment file, which is going to have sensitive information in it. So that we can do the same thing again and now create the environmental file and plop in that code of the outline of what we need. Hit it with a save. So now you're going to want to go and get your API key. And remember, don't share this with anybody. That's the keys to your castle. So you're going to want to get that and replace API key right here with yours and hit it with a save. I'm showing mine because it's a throwaway account, but still, you don't want to do this. And if you do happen to share it with anybody, you can go over here and hit rotate and it'll change it. So that's what I do when I'm done with this before it's uploaded for safety reasons. All right, so that's saved. We got that squared away. We can move on to creating the 3 accounts that we're going to need. And we can do that by creating a file with this code in it called createaccount.js. And then we'll get the code. There we go. Hit it with a save. And now we want 3 accounts, so we need to run node create_account.js 3 times. We'll pop over here to our environmental file, and we will take the address and put that in there. And then we'll take the mnemonic. I want to make sure we get the whole thing. And put the mnemonic. It doesn't matter what order you do these in. You'll just need all 3 of them to be done. And then we can hit the up arrow, and that will go back to the last command we put into the terminal. And Control C, Control V. And then we'll put the mnemonic in there. All right. One more time. And then hit it with a save. So now we've created our 3 accounts. We will need to fund the Alice account, and we can do that easily. We need the address for Alice's account first. And then we'll go to the faucet, input our address, and then, yay, get some funds. Create a multisig account. So to do that, we will create the file that we can run to do that for us. And we'll take that snippet like we've been doing here, drop that in there, hit it with a save. The SS58 prefix is used to encode our address for use on different chains. The 0 value will encode our multisig address for the Polkadot relay chain. Therefore, the encoded address will begin with the number 1. The parity team maintains a registry of the SS58 types, which might come in handy when working with various parachains. Index will be used to refer to the index of our address within an array of addresses. More information on 0 index arrays can be found right here for the curious. Threshold specifies the number of accounts required to approve a transaction from the multisig. It is possible to set the threshold to the same number of total addresses, which would mean that no transactions could be sent from that multisig without full approval. However, in this example, we will set it to the requirement of 2 of the 3 signatures. Other signatories illustrates the use of filter to remove the addresses at the specified index. Before we display the filtered list of addresses, the sort addresses function will sort it by public key. Logging this via json.stringify will display it in a more readable format in the terminal. Encode multisig address is the part that takes the array of addresses, threshold, and optionally the SS58 prefix and returns the deterministic address of the multisig. If the SS58 prefix is included, the address will be encoded for the specific chain. We can see this in action by running node create multisig.js in the terminal. There we go. And we can follow this link here to see our transaction in the westend.subscan.io, and it was a success. Fund a multisig account. Funding the multisig is an important step in this tutorial process so that it will have enough available balance to cover the existential deposit and an available balance for sending further transactions. Create a file called fundmultisig.js, and we can paste the following code in it. Copy that on over, and by now we should be pretty familiar with how to create files and how to put code in there. And then hit it with a save. The function formatbalance.setDefaults enables us to specify a unit name and decimals. Since we are operating on the West End testnet, WND is appropriate. As we can see, amount to send will be specified as a big number, 2 trillion PWND, P for pico, denoting a factor of in this case. Though we can display it in a readable and pre-formatted way using format balance, it can be useful to visualize amount to send at 12 decimal places like this. To complete the action of funding the specified multisig account, paying from the available balance of Alice, we use api.transaction.balances to access the transfer method and then sign and send. This will accomplish the creation of the multisig account, providing the existential deposit while transferring to West End to it. We can see this in action by running node fund multisig.js. Well, if you get this error, it's because you need to put the multisig address. I forgot this last time too, right there. And then hit it with a save. Now when we try it, it will work. All right. And again, we can follow the link to see that it was a success. All right. Now we can continue. Execute a multisig transfer. We will create a file called transfermultisig.js and paste the following code in it. And hit it with a save. Threshold and other signatories should be familiar. Time point must be null if this is the first approval for the multisig. Call.method.hash does what it says, returning a hashed representation of the method data of the transfer. Max weight refers to the maximum weight of the call, though this is not clearly stated in the API documentation. It has to do with fee calculation. Weight is a fixed number designed to manage block validation times. It can be supplemented with an optional tip. Read more about Polkadot transaction fees here. So we can run this code with node transfermultisig.js and see the puppy in action. And again, we'll follow the link to westend.subscan.io. Success. All right, and this is similar to what we had. Approve a multisig transfer. Now we are going to approve a multisig transfer by creating a file that says approve multisig transfer.js and then adding this code right here into that file and hitting it with a save. Call.method.toHex differs from call.method.hash in that toHex is only going to pass along a hexadecimal representation of the method, but not the full method hash. If we encounter error option unwrapping a non-value, it means that the unwrap call on the API query encountered a non-value when it was expecting some value, a valid time point. This would most likely be due to the API query multisigs not having an associated time point. indicating the absence of any approve as multi calls. In essence, there is no data upon which to act in this case, possibly because of trying to run approve before transfer. So let's run the code node approve multisig.js. All right, and we will again go and check and make sure it went through. Awesome. That's what I like to see. Now we will cancel the multisig transfer. We can do that by creating a cancel.js file. And throwing in some code in there. And hit it with a save. It is not necessary to run this code in the normal course of the tutorial. It is largely included here for the sake of completeness. This would be useful in case a multisig approval transaction gets stuck or needs to be canceled for any reason, should it be necessary or for testing purposes. Run the code with node cancel multisig.js, and we're looking for a similar output to this. Woo, and there it is. All right. Congratulations! This brief tutorial has covered the creation and usage of a multisig account using the Polkadot.js API. We are now able to initiate, approve, and cancel transactions using an account that requires multiple authorizations. This functionality enables many other amazing things to be built on Polkadot, and we all look forward to seeing what you build using multisig accounts. As always, if you had any trouble following this tutorial or simply want to discuss Polkadot or Data Hub tech, you can join our Discord in the link down below. I look forward to seeing you there, and until next time, happy coding.